Well, here I am, on my first solo trip to another country. Funny, always thought it would be Japan or England first. Well, Canada, here I come. That's right, here I am on my first big solo mission. Brampton, Canada was the destination. They were going to host the Great British Train Show, a train show catering to the designs of British trains and have a Gauge 1 Thomas replica layout. I had to see this. It took a little planning, but I packed my bags and Friday, April 26th, I was on my way to head over 550 miles to another country, all for the sake of seeing my favorite Technicolor talking trains in action.
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
I woke up at 3 a.m. that morning, and by 5:30 I was on the road. I had quite the day ahead of me. The drive began fairly smoothly, crossed the bridges I had to safely, and was on the mainland in no time. The biggest hiccup was when this car ran past me at like 3 times the speed limit, and not even 5 minutes later I found him wrecked. Serves him right! Feel bad for the people he ran into, though. Nyak, son nyak. It wasn't long before my good friend Colin gave me a ring, and he kept me company for a few hours on the first leg of my trip.
We are number 1. Look at this match that I just found. When I say go, be ready to throw.
Go! Oh look, Legoland. I'll be back for you one day, Legoland.
Brick by brick, talk by tick, no matter how thin, no matter how thick. Brick, 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 brick.
The journey was going smoothly, and I was about 5 hours into my drive when the time came for that good old restroom stop. Luckily, I was passing through Syracuse when I spotted something fun to rope into my trip. For those who may not know me so well, one of my several hobbies is documenting malls. I grew up going to a lot of the local malls by me, most of which have since closed. So when I can, I like to pop into malls on my trips and take lots of photographs. Here is the Destiny USA Mall, a large mall in the Syracuse area opening in 1990 in an area once occupied by oil tankers. This mall has been on my list of malls to visit for quite a long time, for it houses an antique 1908 Carousel, which operates on the second floor. But first, I had a good look around.
Looks more like Escape the Office.
The mall was very charmingly laid out. It felt like an adventure to walk through. It didn't have your typical mall vibe, it had many corridors and theming, which made the whole place have a distinct atmosphere.
to get tickets at a box office? Pokemon mac and cheese. Oh yeah. I think this is the first mall I've ever been in with every single facet of the mall. It looks like a different area of the mall. Like, it looks so different in every single spot, which is great because I'll find my way back to the beginning. Definitely gets Disney through mind. Telling me this place doesn't have a rainforest cafe? Oh, what kind of mall is this?
Coming to the Carousel, this is the 1908 Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters Company Carousel, number 18. One of my other major hobbies is being a theme park historian. I love traveling to document unique amusement rides like this, and let me say, this was an absolute treat. This carousel came from Roseland, an amusement park from the New York area, which closed back in 1985. It was in beautiful condition, and I had a wonderful time riding it twice. My biggest complaint is that the calliope was muffled heavily, so you couldn't hear the music much at all. And also the fact that they only accepted credit cards, but otherwise it was beautiful seeing this carousel in person, and I would happily come back to ride it again. After my carousel adventures, I had lunch at Johnny Rockets, which I haven't eaten at in a long time. It was alright, nothing to write home about, but it hit the spot, and I was on my way again. Traveling west now, I stopped at a BJ's gas station to refuel, and it wasn't but a few miles down the road that I spotted another mall. This time I came across the Finger Lakes Mall in Auburn.
Turn left.
Opening in 1980, this mall had clearly seen better days, sitting mostly vacant. But that's not to say I didn't have a good time there. When I first walked in, I was delighted to find a still functioning mall fountain, something you don't see often working these days. I made sure to make a wish and throw a few coins in. Walking further in past many shuttered shops, I found a toy store and had a chat with the owner who had seen the mall's decline. Once two of the major tenants at Finger Lakes left, JCPenney's and Sears, a lot of the small shops left too, leaving only the anchors being a local cinema and a Bass Pro Shop. Coming to the middle atrium of the mall, I was met with one of the most amazing vibes I have ever been met with at a mall. The old food court had an old town aesthetic with working street lamps and everything. I would love to have seen this in its heyday. I spent a little while here just soaking up the atmosphere to take a break from the drive. I know it's unlikely for this mall to survive much longer in this state, but I think a lot of people would come to appreciate this atmosphere if they could repopulate the food stalls. Coming to the other end of the mall, I was met with another interesting fountain, although this one didn't seem to be working. There was also a small post office here which had some very nice late 70s vibes in the way it looked. Popping outside the mall, I found a Carnival had set up shop. I had a look around but didn't find any particularly unique attractions.
Hey, Scooby, you're lucky turn to win. Come on, everyone, it's the Ring a Bottle game.
I went to buy some Zeppelis at the fried dough stand, but they said they wouldn't sell them to me unless I came back in several hours, despite the fact they clearly had several dozen made on the cooling rack already, but, you know.
I left defeated, as the carnival did not indeed open till 4 o'clock.
As the afternoon wore on, I was now on my way to the border without any more pit stops.
I'm pretty sure I went to that Love's. I'm 900% sure that's the Love's. I got a meatball sandwich the year my family went to visit Seneca Falls, where they filmed It's Wonderful Life. Hello, old friend. Well, here I go, leaving the country. Yep. Oh, Canada. Da, 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 oh, Canada.
I sat in line to cross for almost an hour, and it wasn't long before I finally made my way through without trouble. I was now getting tired and looking forward to getting to my hotel. The signs on the side of the road were all new to me, and I'll talk more about this later, but boy was it strange seeing a speed limit of 100 only to realize it wasn't miles per hour, but instead kilometers per hour. I was about halfway to my hotel from the border when I saw the most wonderful sign off the side of the road, and I knew I had to stop. It was time to visit an old friend.
From bikes to trends to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is. Gee whiz! I don't wanna grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us.
Canada is the weird, bizarro alternate timeline where Toys R Us never went bankrupt. While the ones in Macy's have gotten better since they started, they're still small compared to the ones I grew up with. This one was quite a nostalgic old design which really brought me back to my childhood. I even took a shopping cart with me for the vibe alone.
Yes. Yes. Old school. We have DVDs that interest me. No video games. Oh, wait, never mind. Fun of video games. Clarions. But interestingly, all the physical media seems to be outsourced from another brand.
I had a good time meandering around, though I found the Thomas section disappointingly small compared to the 3-aisle sprawl that used to be in the several local Toys R Us's by me when I was a kid. Though, Mattel doesn't make the variety like they used to, so it's more on them than Toys R Us. I also find it quite interesting that they didn't have a video game section, but they had a really large book section instead. I don't know if this was just a Canada thing, but it was quite surprising. The video game character section was large at least. It made me happy to see just about all the available Pokemon toys available here in stock. I remember how small the Pokemon section was when I was growing up in the early 2000s, after the 90s Pokemon boom, but before the 2010s resurgence. Leaving, I didn't end up buying anything, but I left with a warm feeling in my heart that Toys R Us was alive and well in another part of North America.
Yo,
In
what's with
400
this
feet.
McDonald's? It looks
Turn left.
sick. Remix menu. Ugh, Canada. You shouldn't have.
And then I found another one.
There it is.
This one reminded me of the one I went to as a kid that was near the Roosevelt Field Mall in New York. This one was much more of a quick visit, but I'm glad I went to the other one first because this one was a mess. Everything was in the wrong spot. The Thomas aisle was full of garbage trucks, the Pokemon aisle said Funko, and it was hard to find things. Even the employees didn't seem to know where they were going, since they directed me to the wrong section each time, thinking that something was there when it wasn't. And also, the Thomas section was even smaller than the last store. I had a quick look around and got back on the road. At least they had these nostalgic-looking Jeffrey exit signs on the way out.
Green Hill Avenue.
The sun had just about set by the time I checked into my hotel, almost 15 hours after I'd left home. I was quite exhausted. I dropped my stuff off and popped back outside for 2 seconds to take a look at this Chuck E. Cheese that was essentially across from my hotel. My younger brother and I loved going to Chuck E. Cheese as a kid, so whenever we see them when we travel, we try to pop in and take photographs. Apparently, this is the oldest operating road stage at a Chuck E. Cheese, as well as the last road stage where Jasper has a banjo. I didn't know this when I was there, and they were closing soon, so sadly I only got a quick video of their setup and left. If I had more time, I wanted to go back the next day, but didn't get a chance. Another video on YouTube shows the restaurant when they opened in 1991, so I'll link that in the description if you want to take a look at the place in its heyday. After this quick visit, I went back to my hotel. I couldn't sleep yet, however, as I had brought my Gauge 1 Derek with me to bring to the show. He wasn't done yet, and I was trying really hard to get him to a finished state, but it just wasn't happening with how tired I was. I had to concede with him being about 90% done, and I called it a night. A video on him will be out when he's 100% done. Don't worry, I'm still working on it.
This is the day, he boasted.
The next day, I woke up around 6:30 and took a few shots of the unfinished Derek to reveal him on Twitter with some lightbox equipment I had brought with me. I packed him up and headed out for breakfast. I could have eaten close to the hotel, but there was somewhere in the area I had always wanted to eat, so I headed out and took a bit of a drive.
Coca-Cola Coliseum. Coca-Cola Coliseum. Rain Museum, no. Why can't you be open while I visit? No.
Once I reached my destination, I parked in a parking garage and took a walk down the street on the wet, rainy morning. Before the main attraction, I saw and headed into a small local farmer's market where there was lots of fresh goods for sale. I got myself a chocolate milk for my impending breakfast.
Can I please get a chocolate milk, please?
$3, please.
Across the street from that farmer's market was what I had come out there for, the St. Lawrence Market. The building has a unique vibe dating back to 1845, when before it was a market, it used to be a city hall from what I've heard. The inside was full of vendors selling fresh food and baked goods, different from the farmer's market where I bought the chocolate milk. I had a good time walking around and looking at everything for sale. I had to try and be concise for time though, for I wanted to be at the train show when it opened at 10 a.m.
Choose one. it smells good down here. Oh no.
All the hand-painted signs were enticing, but in the end I had a nutritious and delicious breakfast of chocolate milk vermilion, an egg sandwich, a vanilla eclair I lost half the icing of in the bag, and a cream puff. The egg sandwich was good, not the best I've ever had, but good. The chocolate milk was delicious, and I swear that eclair and cream puff were some of the best pastries I have ever had. I would 100% come back here for my breakfast next time I'm in Canada. My favorite thing I saw were a variety of eclairs, one of my favorite pastries. I hadn't seen all these different flavors before.
Yeah. Can I get cream puff, please? Can I have 2 eggs scrambled on a bagel, please? Most nutritious breakfast I could have, but I lost all the icing on my vanilla eclair. Thomas and the Magic Railroad vibes. Reflections of light on a rainy day.
Yo, that's a funky looking train. It soaps like an alligator. It's really cool.
Leaving the St. Lawrence Market, I immediately got stuck in traffic, much to my dismay. It took a while, but I made it to the train show only about 5 minutes after they opened, and it was only a short wait in line until I got in.
You should be at the station by now. You're late.
The train show was amazing. All the British trains had me actually too conflicted on what to buy. I actually wish I bought more because there was a lot of good deals. In the end, I only got one freight car and a pin. There were so many other things I wanted to look at and consider purchasing, but in the end I spent all my time at the main reason I had come, the Elsbridge and Maithwaite layout.
feel like I'm playing Monopoly.
Yeah, so then he's going to come over and he's going to help you wire it so it's not DCC anymore.
Johnny, what did the guy at the Model Railway Museum, or the Railway Museum say yesterday? We were like, he literally said...
Oh, he said something to the tune of...
oh, the cow catchers. He's like, he's like, I've never caught any cows before on that, but I've watched a lot of other things. I'm like, he literally said... he literally said, I don't catch cows, sir.
Boop, boop. Goodbye.
That was a big boy. What have you done?
Trench cheeseburger.
making your wish come true, Toad. Follow the leader. Help! Save me! Help! Help! On, faster! Get out of my way!
Alright, switching gears here, time for some fun behind-the-scenesy type stuff. Move! Around halfway through the day, they actually let me bring out Derek and put him on the visiting siding. The crowd was excited to see him, and it made me feel a lot better about not having fully finished him yet. It was a great honor to have my model alongside some of the master-class modelers.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
We made our own episode. My buddy Rob here narrated it. Yeah, it's a full about 6 minutes. So how did you...
To our sound studios, I brought my Walkmans, lined them up on the floor, and followed them with shotgun.
Like I use for Pinchy's Claw, I use cookie dogs. For the bridge crumbling, I like put some Vector cereal in my hand and it sounded really good.
Yeah, I think
that's what I want to go with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I know Sheridan has a pretty good photo studio.
I wish I got the Gordon that's about to pass on the screen is the same one as right here. I got that track on there. There he is. That's that one right there. So it was about 2 years in the making. We filmed all of that out.
I actually haven't been here.
Oh no.
Slower, slower than that. Maybe a little bit faster.
It can't. He's
All right, fast.
Whatever you fucking service. Beautiful.
Fast.
That's as fast as I can go.
A bumpy ride on Rotten Road.
That's beautiful.
Stop, Percy.
Yeah, I think
A little bit. What do you want me to do?
Give him a little shunt. Percy's a little special. Oh, stop. Yeah, he is.
all right. Back.
Back him up.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
I might need a little. We could get that for you. I got Gorilla right here if that helps. All right, we good? All right, ready?
Toby off.
It was the first time I had ever stayed the entire length of a train show before, staying from just after they opened to almost half an hour after they were supposed to close. This train show was one of the first ones in a long while where I really wanted to stay the second day. Spending all day filming these trains and talking to others with the same interests as me made this the best train show I had ever been to, with the only other one coming close being the November 2022 Edison show. There's a vlog thing on my channel about it. Even if I sometimes struggled due to social anxiety, I hope I left everyone who talked to me with a good impression at least. There were definitely parts of the day where I sat up in the bleachers and had myself a little social battery recharge. But even if I sometimes struggled due to social anxiety, I hope I left everyone who talked to me with a good impression at least. With the show closed for the night, I decided to enjoy the rest of my time in Canada. First, I stopped and got a drink at McDonald's. Interesting note, Canadian McDonald's have the bland Starbucks building design we have in America nowadays, but they kept the red, which looks nice at least. From there, I ended up at the Woodbine Center Mall. Opening in 1985, this is another mall that has been on my radar for quite some time now. Entering the mall, I took the first escalator I came across, which took me up into the Fantasy Fair amusement park. Wandering around, it was a charming little park with a lot of interesting carnival-type rides. Nothing too extraordinary, but it had a unique atmospheric town, almost like the Finger Lakes Mall, but not quite as well done. It made me happy to see it so busy despite rumors of the mall closing in the next couple of years. The whole reason I was here was to see the Louvre Carousel, which is one of 13 left in the world. It was very beautiful, with the intricate roof being very appealing. Unfortunately, it was also rather caked with dust, so it clearly wasn't as well maintained as the carousel I talked about earlier from Destiny USA. I do hope that if the mall does eventually close, the carousel at least manages to be saved and preserved. It was at least a very nice ride. The other ride I was quite happy to ride was the miniature train. The track layout was very interesting, with a dog bone-like layout, utilizing some points along the route. A cool disco cave tunnel, and an interesting feature where you go out over a pier and a geyser erupts. It was a most enjoyable ride indeed. Walking the length of the mall, it was obvious the theme park was better taken care of than the mall itself. Lots of shops were closed, and the mall was pretty empty compared to the crowded amusement park. The elevator, which was out of service, carried the architect motif at the front of the mall, which was cool. There were also quite a few allusions to Sears being in the mall on a lot of signs, but sadly it was not the case. After the mall, I headed out for dinner where I came upon another Chuck E. Cheese. It was also fairly crowded, for it was a Saturday. It was a pretty run-of-the-mill two-stage Chuck E. Cheese, but the best thing about this location, they had this awesome 80s Chuck E. Cheese statue and some of the old-school carpet. I did some digging when I got home, like I did on the other location, and this was apparently an original 1983 Pizza Time Theater location. They had a balcony stage and everything, and that Chuck E. statue, that's been in that corner since 1983, through several major remodels. Oh, to see a time-lapse of his life through his eyes would be magical indeed. Again, I wish I knew this before I was going so I could take a more detailed video or photographs, but it is what it is. I also adore the sign on the front of the building, as that was the same design that my local Chuck E. Cheese had up until about 2016 when I was growing up. Then I went across the street to the fast food restaurant Harvey's. I've never been to one before, so I thought I would try it. It wasn't bad, but nothing to write home about. Pretty on par with somewhere like Checkers. After that, it was getting pretty late, so it was time for me to head back towards my hotel. But I stopped for one more snack that night.
Well, talk about those 80s vibes.
Now is as good a time as any to talk about the Canadian highways. They sure did remind me of the time my family went to California a while back. Canadian highways just seem to get bigger and bigger to around 5 or 6 lanes, but then the lane you're in on the left, right, or even sometimes middle will just suddenly end into off-ramps, and I found my mobile telephone's GPS had a hard time letting me know in advance. I quickly got the hang of it, but it definitely caught me off guard the first times I was driving out that way.
What kind of system is this? Push to lock.
Can I just please get a classic beaver tail, please?
I decided to try a beaver tail, which is a thin Canadian pastry coated in cinnamon sugar. It was pretty good, but no way did it beat the eclair and cream puff I had fresh that morning. I got back to the hotel pretty satisfied with my adventures. I took it easy in my room and watched some television until it was time for me to go to bed.
Alright, watching peak cinema right before bed.
Look out, Percy! Cried Toby. Toby rocketed past Percy.
Toby, no.
The next morning, I woke up around 4:30 a.m., pretty bummed I was heading home already. I really wanted to stay for day 2 of the train show and see some more sights, but being the poor retail man I am, I couldn't afford it.
No money means no animation.
I checked out and got gas next to my hotel, where I had the existential crisis that it's not dollars per gallon, and instead cents per liter, which meant I didn't put in quite as much gas as I had expected. I decided it was time for some breakfast. What would be a visit to Canada without Tim Hortons? I had them the last time I was in Canada, back in 2012, and they were great. This time, though, they didn't listen to me saying not to toast my bagel, frying it to a crisp, and then giving me a cookie that looked like someone had already taken a bite out of it. Ah well, it was too early in the morning for me to argue about it.
A yoo-hoo from my cooler.
That is one of the coolest looking things I have ever seen. What is that, a coal plant or something? That looks awesome. It's so cool looking. What is that?
I headed for the border and made it through 1, 2, 3. They didn't ask me any questions, which was mildly concerning for safety, but it also meant that it was a very short stop, so whatever, I guess. Not putting in enough gas meant I had to decide to stop sooner than I planned, so about 5 hours into my journey, I turned off for another BJ's gas I saw.
Stopping for gas, but turns out gas is attached to a mall.
Not one to pass up the chance to explore a mall I haven't been to yet, I parked and headed inside. The Oakdale Mall, now being called the Oakdale Commons at some entrances, opened in 1975. The mall seemed like it had lived its life, but also didn't seem like it was dead yet either. Although you could tell many stores had come and gone, the mall was fairly busy for having just opened for the day. In fact, it really did seem like they had quite a few new things coming soon. So although the old mall vibe might disappear, it makes me happy to see that life is still being breathed into a small town mall like that.
I like the old logo better. This is a nice logo. That's the weirdest, cleanest looking Spencer's I've ever seen. Yeah, it's bright in there. They got a very modern looking Hot Topic. That's a weirdly bright sporting good.
There was also a unique car shop, which is something I've never seen inside a mall before.
It feels like everything here, a lot of the original stuff is closed and left, but there's a lot of high-end stuff in here too. It feels like it's a car store in a mall. That's a first for me. Gotta give it to you, mall. Yeah, there's a surprise I've never seen. Ooh, now there's a classic thigh.
They also had an old school design Fye, F-Y-E, which made me nostalgic, even if they barely had any CDs or DVDs. Without killing much time, it was time to roll out. I got gas and was on my way again.
Oh yeah, don't mind me apparently. Just one of those, it's a gas station, but someone sure did bring their helicopter to the gas station to refuel, as one does.
Further down the road, I stopped off at the mall known as the Galleria at Crystal Run, because I had heard they had opened a Round 1 there, which is a Japanese arcade chain I'm very fond of. Longtime viewers of my channel will remember I used to frequent the one at the Silver City Galleria in Massachusetts. That one was in a very nice mall my family visited on trips to the area. Sadly, that mall was demolished in 2021. I wish I had filmed more mall footage at the time. It's definitely part of why I do so nowadays. Back to the Galleria at Crystal Run, the mall was pretty busy. It was a pretty run-of-the-mill straight-line mall. They had lots of shops and I enjoyed walking around. bought myself some pretzel nuggets at a pretzel maker stand, which is a brand I haven't really heard of. They were pretty good. The round one was okay. I was hoping they would have a Taiko no Tatsujin or Music Gun Gun 2 like the Silver City location used to, but sadly there was no luck. Anyways, this one at Crystal Run had nothing unique, so I decided to keep moving because I still had several hours of driving ahead of me. Down the road, I headed to my last stop. What's that I hear? You haven't heard me talk enough about malls in this vlog? Well, here comes the Palisades Mall. This is a mall my family has passed on many road trips and I've always wanted to visit. They always said no, but now that I'm on my own, it's my turn to decide. Opening in 1998, this mall definitely catches one's eye. It was 6 floors, bigger than Destiny USA, the first mall that I visited on this trip. But while Destiny USA was a treat to walk around and explore, the Palisades felt a bit more like a chore. It was crowded and there was a lack of signs, leading to a few cases where I genuinely couldn't remember if I had already been in that area. I was also very tired now, being out of the hotel for over 12 hours or so. The mall was pretty dimly lit and it had a lot of your average modern mall shops.
There's a Disney store here.
The whole reason I was there was because I had heard that they had a double-decker carousel and a Ferris wheel in the food court. Well, as I found out, the carousel had been taken out around 2021, and the Ferris wheel has been indefinitely closed. It was definitely a bummer to end my trip on. That's not to say the mall wasn't still nice, but definitely one of the more lackluster of the trip. The coolest floor was definitely the 6th. They had an ice rink and a lot of 90s logos stamped into the floor up here.
old logos that no longer exist, huh? It's a cool theme for a floor. Further down the floor, there was a strip mall type street design with full buildings lining this fake street. It was really cool. And now, finally, it was time for me to go home.
Just like Thomas.
I'd like to thank you all so much for watching if you've stuck around this long in the video. This was definitely my longest vlog thing I've ever made. Did a bit of a different style from the way I usually edit them. This has literally taken me 4 months to edit and sift through literally over a dozen of hours of footage. But hey, let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you all think. Thanks again for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video, everyone.